Hello, and welcome to Addicted Like Us, a podcast discussing all things written by Krista and Becca Ritchie. I'm your host, Haley, and today I have Julia, aka Reading Chemist Chronicles, with me to talk about Some Kind of Perfect, Book 10 in the Addicted series. Just a reminder, this is part 9 of the Some Kind of Perfect discussions, so make sure you listen to the first 8 before listening to this one. A quick recap, I'm Haley, a longtime reader and lover of Krista and Becca's work. I'm also a part-time illustrator, and I had the privilege of working on the special edition covers for the Leica series. Now, I just love to spend my time talking about all of my favorite books, aka anything written by Krista and Becca. So the Addicted Like Us podcast was created so I could sit down with friends and discuss all of our thoughts. So let me reintroduce you to Julia.
I'm Julia, and I've been reading and loving Krista and Becca's books for 10 years now. I first found Addicted to You on a Goodreads list and read all the books that were out, and then continued reading every book as they've been released. And I went from kind of a silent reader, Fizzle Force, and Patreon member participant to starting my Bookstagram a year and a half ago. And I love chatting about these books, so I'm happy to be here talking about my favorite fictional universe.
Yes. And we are, like I said, we're in part 9. We are very close to the end of this book. So let's attempt a recap. Some of the big things to hit on. Well, the Cobalt family complete. We have Jane, Charlie, Beckett, Elliot, Tom, Ben, and Audrey. The Hales, we have Maximoff, Luna, Xander, and Kenny. The Meadows, we have Sullivan and Winona. And then the Abbey family, they have Veda. A couple of big things. One, Jonathan did pass away in our last discussion. It was 2025 when Jonathan passed away. And there was something else I think something that's kind of a couple of things that are pertinent. In the last episode, we also saw, we're starting to get like a better sense of who the kids are, their personalities. One of the things that we saw at the lake house was that Charlie is not being like, he needs to be mentally stimulated in a different way than the rest of the kids. So they noticed that like he had wandered off at some point, and despite like them calling and he wasn't answering the phone, like Rose had to scream for him. So he has a tendency to like wander off. And then another thing that was like way back at the beginning of the book, like it started this book, was the Core Six's discussion about how they wanted to handle how the kids were going to be perceived in the media, like whether they would be involved in the filming of We Are Calloway, how present they were going to be on it, as well as what were they going to tell the kids about the things that are on, or that they discuss in We Are Calloway, like most especially like Lily and Lo's addictions, Rose and Connor's sex tape, the Paris riot, and what Daisy went through. A lot of that is really heavy topics to try and talk about with little kids. So it was something that they had agreed to kind of like hold off on telling them, something to just keep in the back of our mind right now. And we have already started 2027. We've covered the first couple of chapters, but now we are in July 2027 at Disneyland. Like the next several chapters are all going to be Disneyland, so I'm not going to keep repeating myself where we are. But this first chapter is in Lily's point of view, and she's like setting the scene that they've decided they want to take the kids to Disneyland for the summer. They had the option between World or Land, and the security team. Apparently there are a couple of guys on the security team that know Disneyland better than Disney World, and it's also like a smaller park, so they've opted to go there instead. And we start out the chapter also with this words of wisdom from all of the parents. I think you can kind of identify who's saying what purely by what is said.
What they're saying.
Remember the buddy system. Do not wander off alone. We all looked right at Charlie. That's Rose. Daisy. Have fun. Me. Do not eat a hamburger before riding Gadget's Go Coaster. Lo will second this. Lo, she puked on her feet when she was 10. All the kids laughed. No talking to strangers, Reich. And if you need anything, tell whichever fucking parent is with you. Connor, use your brains. You all have them. So they've also kind of like split off into groups. Lily, Reich, and Lo have the older kids, which is Maximoff, Jane, Charlie, Beckett, and Sully. And we have a little add-on. Poor Xander did not want to be separated, so he's also sticking around with Lily. She's watching him right now, but he was meant to be with like the middle kids. So that's Xander, Tom, Elliot, and Luna were going to be with Rose and Connor, and then Audrey, Winona, and Kinney are with Daisy. That's all the kids, right? I didn't leave anybody out.
And Ben.
Yeah, Ben's with the middle ones.
With the middle.
Yeah. But so that's their groups, and we are currently with the older kid group. So Lily brings up like she has Xander with her, and they are getting a lot of attention right now. Like Xander in particular is getting a lot of attention. I can't remember which episode we talked about it, but like Xander has garnered a lot of attention. He was considered a very photogenic baby. He came into the world in an elevator, or he didn't, but he almost came into the world in an elevator. And it just so happened that like Reich was there, and there's that whole thing with like Lily, Lo, and Reich. Like he's one of the he's a child that the media has just latched onto, and despite the fact that Lily and Lo don't even put him on the docuseries at all, like the attention on him never dies down. There are so many headlines about him, but I like the 10 reasons why Xander Hale is cutest baby on earth. Luna spotted that celebrity crush headline and said it was inaccurate. Xander is from Planet Thebula 2. But Lily notes that she can tell how anxious he is, and she relates to him being so anxious that she asks if he's hungry, if he wants a snack, because it didn't seem like he was painfully shy this morning at breakfast. He barely ate his waffle. And as a formerly shy child, I can relate to letting my food go to waste, but still wanting to eat.
Love that. I love that she understands that. And knows that, like, okay, just, you know, like, she knows that just because, like, he didn't eat, and he might have just been, like, really shy, so she still then, like, gets him a little snack and, like, eats a snack with him because she's like, okay, he might still be hungry. He was just too shy to eat at breakfast this morning. I love that because she, like, relates to him in that way, and she was like, I know as a child I was like that, too, and I just, like, would have gone hungry because I was too shy to, like, maybe even just, like, then, like, ask for a snack or something. So she like gets that for him.
Yeah,
Lily.
I love her. And like, of course, I like that she is trying to find the snack, and she's like, goldfish, a few smashed ding dongs, and then she has the cheese puffs. But I love that Lily, of course, there are ding dongs or yoo-hoos or something like that kind of snack. Of course, she would have something like that with her. And also throughout this, she's holding him. He's 4 years old at this time, and he's kind of heavy. And we saw her carrying Luna a couple of episodes ago, and she was like, arms of steel, do not fail me. Same thing this time around. Xander is so heavy, and please, steel arms. My arms are made of titanium. I will not drop my baby. She and Xander are waiting outside the ride. They're at It's Tiana's Bayou Adventure. This did get updated in the Berkeley edition. It's not in this copy, but they are at that like water ride, and so they're waiting for the kids to come down and like watch them come down the hill and see the big splash. So Lily's over here like, parenting success. I've got like the snack and all of the, like, I'm taking care of my poor anxious youngest son. I'm doing so great. Let's watch out for your big brother and your dad and your cousins. And then she turns around and Maximoff is already out of the ride. Did you see me? Parenting fail. And she like doesn't have the heart to be like, oh, I missed you. It was a little too hard to see. And she notices that he's like only with his bodyguard, Declan. So they had gone down on a ride a little earlier than the rest of them. But we get to see this really cute moment between Maximoff and Xander. We haven't had a lot of we haven't seen a ton of his relationship with this little sibling. Like we saw how close he was with Luna in, again, that one chapter where Lily was carrying her. We saw how much Maximoff loved to take care of his younger sister, and he's the same way with the rest of his siblings. So he's like, I just saw Goofy, do you want to go take a picture? And Xander's like, no. Lily's like, this one tries to hide behind all of his cousins and siblings whenever there's a group photo. He does not want to be photographed. Fair enough. He's like constantly trying to be photographed by paparazzi. That sounds traumatic. So like Maximoff pivots so quickly, and it's just like, well, let's just get an autograph then. We can't let Ben have more autographs than you in your autograph book. And he calls him Summers because Xander is named after Alexander Summers. And so Maximoff has this nickname for him. He's the only one that calls him this. I love it.
I know. Well, we get to see the start of the little like nicknames and stuff in here.
It's my heart. And so he's like, let's go see Goofy. He says, will you stay with me? I'm your sidekick, Summers. I wouldn't leave you for the world. I love them. And then he turns and he goes, Mom, you're not coming. Not you, Mom. Which, as we see, Maximoff is a kidult. He wants to be an adult. He's still a kid. He's 12, but he very much wants to be a big kid. And so he'll take Declan with him, but he wants to do this alone with Xander. And Lily's just like, without me?
She does also kind of like acknowledge like, okay, I guess I do bring more attention.
Mm-hmm.
Like she's like sad. She's like, oh, that pierced my heart, but okay, not as much because I know that I would bring more attention to the situation, and like Mafi's trying to just go do this, for Xander to, make him happy, get him out, have him, do something with, a character, get the autograph. And she knows she would bring a lot of people because especially, I feel like out of anyone, Lily kind of attracts the most paparazzi and people. So she's like, okay, I know.
Yep. But she's like still a little hesitant on like what is the right answer here. I feel like this is a decision that Lo and I like need to sit down and talk about before I let him do anything. Which, parenting success, Lily, you know what, Lupin, Lo, I like it. But before she can like fully give an answer, she notices the rest of the group is arriving. So she sees Lo and Reich, and she's counting the heads of the little kids, and she sees Jane, Beckett, Ellie. Where's Charlie? Nowhere to be seen. And she sees that Reich and Lo have also suddenly realized that Charlie has dipped. And it's not a great moment. My bodyguard contacts the fleet with his earpiece. We're missing one. We just lost my sister's child in Disneyland.
Not the place.
No,
not that anywhere is the place to go missing, but that especially not Disneyland.
Definitely not. Not being who they are in this location with this specific child. He has the means to he's got the intelligence that he could just slip under the radar if he really wanted to, which he did, and he did successfully slip under the radar. So the next chapter, we're in Lo's point of view, and he's talking with Connor, like, oh my god, I'm so sorry, like, we're gonna keep looking for him, like, I don't know where the hell he could be, and he feels really guilty. He's like, it'll be my fault if something happens to Charlie. I'm the one who convinced him to ride this ride when all he wanted to do was chill at the hotel. Connor's like, Lo, calm down. His voice serene. No tension at all. He is calm, chill. His 9-year-old child is missing. This is Connor. Lo, calm down. Are you serious? You're telling me to calm down? How are you calm right now? And Connor's like, I understand, Charlie. He probably found the ride pointless and he just dipped at the last minute, and he's either at the hotel or he will find you. Those are the options. It's not that they will discover him. It's that Charlie
He will find you. Yep.
Yeah. And Connor Cobaltism, Lo is like, he'll find me. He's 9, Connor. You're supposed to be the smart one. His age is meaningless, and I am the smart one, which means my opinion holds the most weight. So, like, Connor, again, he does understand Charlie. This was kind of talked about in that chapter where Charlie decided to skip a couple of grades. One of the things was, like, Charlie also recognizes that, like, he's so cute and young and like doesn't appreciate being patronized too, just because of his age. He wants to be treated at his intelligence level and not his age, which was something that Connor also has found frustrating. And then we get Lo talking about where Rose is, if she's on her way to the hotel. Connor's like, I have my bodyguards working with security. I choose not to panic. Rose doesn't carry the same philosophy. Lily said her older sister turned into Xeno warrior princess over the phone, throwing out things like battalions, combat blades, and death. I love her.
Yes, we see that they are very much not the same in an instance like this. Like, Connor, again, being it's fine, not panicking, like, we'll find him. Lo, calm down. And Rose, she's not calm.
No, not at all. Like, so Lo says, Rose doesn't share the same philosophy as you, Connor. And Connor says, neither do you. Neither does Reich. I believe there's a name for this. Temper Triad. We love them. They get shit done, okay? Them. But, you know, Lo is, like, grateful. Connor is, like, he says, Connor eases the alarm in my gut. He's always been able to make uncomfortable situations more comfortable with just his voice and some words, because that's all Connor needs, is words. So Lo is thinking about, so Lo goes to the kids. He needs to have some words with these guys. We see, like, the little friendship groups. Sully and Beckett are doing crunches right now. They're like, he says they're not competing against one another. These crazy 9-year-olds think training for swimming and ballet is fun, and we're at Disneyland. Like, these two are very, very serious about, I guess, ballet, we can call it a sport. Like, they're very serious about their sports. So they've, like, really bonded over this. It's like I don't think this is, like, the very start of it, but it's the first time we see these two together. One of my favorite bestie pairings.
Yes.
And he calls them, these two, like, different breed. They're not like Lo. And then Jane has drawn a tic-tac-toe board on her hand and is playing with Maximoff and Xander. And so Lo comes over and he's like, you four, we need to talk. And like, Xander's here too, Dad. Xander isn't part of this speech. You've been an excellent Disneylander, Xander. And he likes to use the word because he heard Lily use it and he thinks it's so cute.
Yeah, I love that. And Moffy like, wait, Xander's been an excellent Disneylander. So does that mean we did something wrong? Like, what did we do? We haven't been excellent Disneylanders?
Nope. And they try and justify it. They're like, it's Charlie. Okay, we cannot there's no keeping up with Charlie. There's no keeping an eye on him. It's impossible. We've tried. And Beckett's like, Charlie doesn't want us to keep him in the group. He wants to do his own thing. Lo is still, like, really upset. No, like, you guys need to talk with each other. Like, even if he's not coming to us to tell us where he's going, like, he needs to talk with you. You guys need to encourage this. This is the kind of camaraderie we need to see between you guys so that, like, someone knows where he's headed. And Beckett's like, well, like, almost especially they're hoping that Beckett would say something because that's his twin. And Beckett's over here like, well, actually, I care about Charlie probably the most. He is my twin, and I would 100% tell you where he went if he told me, but he knows that I would tell you where he went, which is why he won't tell me where he's going. Like, he knows all of this. Charlie is, like, several steps ahead of you in this regard. Like, it's hard to keep track of him. And Jane's over here like, you know what? Maybe we should check, what is it, Space Mountain? Or no, the Matterhorn.
The Matterhorn.
Let's go to Matterhorn. I heard him mentioning that ride. And Lo's over here like, I know Maximoff said he wanted to go do that ride, so I see what you're doing, trying to help out your best friend, but I see right through you.
So he's like, okay, I know I'm not Connor. I'm not even maybe as smart as like I'm not like as smart as Connor or my brother, but I'm not an idiot. Like I see what's going on here. I don't need to be the smartest person to figure out you guys just want to ride this ride. You don't actually think Charlie is there, or else you would have said something way earlier.
But yeah, no, good try though. So then Jane's like, okay, you caught me, but can we please just like, we're just sitting here. Can we go do something instead of just not doing anything? And Lo serves up some realness for them. You're right. Let's go. We can ride some rides. Pretend your brother isn't lost in a theme park where millions of people know him and he doesn't know a goddamn soul. Do you want some cotton candy with that? And he's like they've really tried to like maintain some level of normalcy with these kids because like the course they grew up quote unquote normally. I know they were all very wealthy when they grew up, but like they didn't have the same level of attention that these kids did. Like there's some part of them that's like trying to make sure that they have some level of privacy and normalcy growing up, but they are starting to reach an age where they need to understand that they are different. They can have some normal experiences, but there are some experiences that just cannot be normal for them because too many people know who they are and they have no idea, and they don't have that same, like, I don't want to say level, but like they don't. Everyone knows who they are. They don't know who these people are, though.
Mm-hmm.
There's just like there's an imbalance here. Like Lo really needs them to understand, like, you cannot forget this. Like, yes, we've tried to make it, like, give you a more normal, I need a better word, another word than normal, but like they've
More
tried,
typical.
yeah, they've tried, yes, typical, thank you. I need a thesaurus. They've tried to give them a more typical childhood, but they cannot forget that they are famous.
Yeah.
And act like this is nothing.
Yeah. And even I think without, like, even if they weren't famous, if they were a normal family, a kid going missing in Disneyland would be a big deal, right?
Yeah.
Like, there would be panic of, like, there's so many people here. There's the worry of, like, what if, you don't know what's going to happen. Like, that would obviously be a big panic. And there's just the added layer of the fact that they're famous.
Yeah.
But I think it brings an extra layer of, like, if it was another kid in their family, it would be different. Yeah. But for the kids, like for Jane and Matt, for them, it's like, well, this is Charlie. He always disappears, right? Yeah. So it's like, it kind of brings it of like, well, this is a regular occurrence.
Yes.
Charlie disappearing. So why are we panicking? Like, can we just go ride a ride? And like, they have to bring it back to like, no, this is a big deal, right? Like, not only are you a kid, is Charlie a kid lost in Disneyland? He's a kid he's a famous kid lost in Disneyland.
Yes.
So like, it's not just a everyday occurrence because Charlie disappears a lot. And like, that's something that they're kind of, he's always like wandering off on his own. Yeah. So I think it might have even been different for them if it was like, I don't know, they turn around and Becca is like missing because something happened and he got separated from the family. Like, maybe they would have even had a little more like realization of like, maybe like this is kind of bad.
Yeah, no, I think the other thing too, like, I think one of the things is that Charlie, like, they're so used to Charlie disappearing, everyday occurrence, not out of the normal, topped with like that they do have this fleet of bodyguards and they're like, they'll take care of it. Like, like, for this one specific person, I think they feel like maybe there's part of them that also thinks that like it's Charlie and security will handle it, and that's okay. That's what we're used to. No, this is not how it's meant to be. So Lo is like, we're not leaving this room until they find him, but he trails off because who walks in? Sully says, "What the ever-loving fuck?" That's a new one, but it's accurate. Charlie has walked in and he's got like a bag with him. And he lifts his sunglasses to his brown hair. He casually takes in his surroundings as though he expected all of this. Did I miss the party? I brought presents. It was a joke. I didn't actually think there'd be a party. And Lo, he talks about how, like, he needs to be careful about not being mean. Because Lo is, king of petty, king of cutting remarks. He is sharp and he could say some real mean, bad things to Charlie, but he is a kid. He is safe. He did find them. Connor was right.
Connor was right.
This also isn't his kid. Like, it's not his responsibility to lecture him and, like, really get this through his noggin, that this isn't what he should be doing. But, like, also Lo was responsible for him, and, like, there needs to be some level of reciprocity here. Like, I have to be responsible for you, but you have to respect the rules that I lay down, kind of thing. You can't wander off. And so we see Charlie, what he has purchased, because he said he had a present, and he gives Xander a set of Mickey Mouse ears because Xander had talked about wanting these ears. And Charlie had apparently wandered off, done his own thing, but also remembered to go get these ears for Xander. So it's like, he is like such a fascinating character. The way he like does remind me of Connor in certain aspects, but like he does have, I don't want to call it, like I said that Ben has a big heart. I'm like, Charlie does have a big heart too. He loves very deeply. I wouldn't like necessarily compare, like the way that I say Ben has a big heart is not necessarily the way that I think Charlie has a big heart, but like Charlie does love his family. It's very evident, which is very different from the way Connor grew up, being so opposed to love. Charlie seems to really embrace it. And in this, like he does love not just his immediate family, but his cousins too. And he went and got this for Xander. And it's got like the embroidery. Doesn't it have his name on it too?
Yeah. Xander, like stitched on the back of it. I'm just picturing Charlie like going off and then like getting this little hat for Xander and then being like, okay, I gotta, now go back to them. See where they're gonna be. Well, they probably know I'm lost, so they're probably at like the security office. Let me go find them there. They're just coming back. Like this kid.
He's so smart. And he also, Lo says, like, coming from Connor Cobalt, I might question the complete sincerity. He obviously would have other motives to appease us, calm tempers, but I'm almost positive that's not Charlie's intention. Like, he says, I've seen him grab Winona's hand when she's crossed the street. I've seen him help Xander secure his knee pads before he tried Mafi's skateboard. He's kind with no expectations of receiving anything in return. And he couldn't care less if we stayed pissed at him, if we all hated him. And Lo's like, obviously, I'm probably not going to get an apology from you. No. I exist Yes!
Quotes him some Walt Whitman. Like,
I exist as I am. That is enough. My head throbs. Lo is ready to serve up some more realness for Charlie this time. He served up some realness to the other four, and Charlie is about to get it. And Maximoff recognizes it and covers Xander's ears and goes, dude, you fucked. So cute. And Lo's over here like, yeah, I know the kid's curse. Like, I'm not surprised by it. Sully's the only one that actually gets in trouble for it. Poor Sully. But it's also very cute that, like, Maximoff doesn't want to, like, he still understands that he's got little ears around him, which is why he will cover up Xander's ears for that. Adorable.
And then he like picked that up from Lily, because Lily does that to the little kids.
So Lo tells Charlie, he's like, you cannot be like me. You need to care about your own life. You need to understand that you may think you had that situation under control. And I recognize that, like, you are smarter than the average 9-year-old and you can logic your way out of a lot of things. And you don't want to be perceived as this cute little 9-year-old kid. That will not prevent evil people out there from doing horrible things to you. You need to be more aware of this fact that they can cover your mouth, blindfold you, overpower you. You're not as big as several men. They can overpower you, and you need to think about this and show me that you care about your life a little more by being more cognizant of this fact. And Charlie is like really upset and frustrated over like this because he's trying to logic out like all of these ways that Lo is telling him, no, you were in danger. And he's like, well, I had my words, and like, I'm smarter than most people. I wouldn't be lured away like the way other kids could be lured, and all of these things. And Lo just has all of these rebuttals for Charlie's arguments.
And it's frustrating.
Yeah.
'Cause he's like, it's just, as he says, I hate irrational people. Like,
yeah.
He's like, it's just doesn't make sense because it's not logical. But unfortunately, some people are not logical.
Yeah, unfortunately.
And they're like, you can't do anything about that. You can't make them
irrational
not
people
stupid
out there. Yeah.
But it's frustrating.
It is.
Especially to him. It's like,
yeah. Lo is like, this kind of sucks. Like, I am serving up some really heavy things right now at Disneyland. It's supposed to be fun. And he says, this is what happens when you bring a known villain to the party. I'm not the villain, but I'm the kind of hero who forgets an overly happy theme song for the credits. I'm too bitter to be that sweet. He's our little anti-hero. He's not our little anti-hero. He is our anti-hero, serving up some words of wisdom to the next generation of anti-hero. So then continue on at Disneyland. They go ride a Star Wars ride, and they are walking off the ride. They did drop off Charlie with Rose and Connor, and Xander is no longer with them, but they still have some of the older kids, and it's still Lo, Lily, and Reich watching them. So they've done this Star Wars ride. They're walking off, and Lily and Lo and I think Jane too are singing like the Star Wars theme song as they're exiting, and Lily is very off key. That Reich nearby keeps shaking his head like he has a migraine, and Lo is like, hey, don't make fun of her, don't rag on her. And Reich's like, I didn't say a fucking thing. And Lo notices that Mafi, who had been like laughing and enjoying the moment, stops, and he's like glancing between all three of the adults, like trying to assess the situation. And Lo's over here like, this is how I mess with my brother. This is just a joke. This is how we talk. But Lo sees something in Maximoff's eyes, and he's like, it practically stops my fucking heart. And he says that Maximoff is quiet for like the rest of the day. They go back to the hotel, and they like eat together, and the entire time he's so quiet. Lily recognizes at this point too that something is wrong. She's like bitten her nails down, her anxious tell. So Maximoff gets up out of the hotel room and walks down to these vending machines, and Lo follows after him, and he sees Maximoff is crying. So he sits down and he like lets Maximoff cry. I hug my kid tight. He's just 12. He's goddamn 12. And he tries hard to act like he's 22. We include him in a lot. When Connor and I go out to eat, we'll invite Maximoff. He likes feeling older, like he's one of the grown-ups, but he's not. It's a weird balance because I need him to stay a kid. He deserves that. But the universe might be saying, Maximoff, Hale, you have to grow up now.
And then I love, he just tells him, you can cry, Moff, whatever it is, you can cry. And
yes.
Like that, because he never got that from like Jonathan. It was always like being told that he was basically like weak for crying or showing emotion.
Jonathan was dying, I think he said something to that effect.
Literally. So like, yeah, breaking that cycle, not doing that, and like, yeah, telling his kid like, you can cry. He doesn't even know why he's crying or what it is, but doesn't need to know, because just needs to tell him like, it's okay, whatever is going on, like it's okay to cry. You don't need to like hold it in. You can cry. And just so important that him and Lily have like fostered that environment with their kids, that like it's okay to be emotional and like feel what you're feeling, and they don't have the same that Lo had growing up of like not feeling like he could, really not being able to cry or show emotion, or else he'd get like yelled at or told that he was being weak and whatever by his dad.
Yeah, so then Maximoff says he has something that he needs to ask Lo. And it is the question that they have been trying to avoid for so fucking long. He asks Lo, am I your son or am I Uncle Reich's? And I don't mean in the metaphorical sense, I mean biologically. Biologically, metaphorically, spiritually, any which way you turn it. You're mine. You're my son. I don't know what you've read online, but it's a load of shit. Your mom and Uncle Reich were never together, and I just want to say fuck you to Melissa, to Celebrity Crush, to all of the shitheads out there that have perpetuated this horrible fucking rumor. We have to have him go through this horrible moment.
So terrible, because that too, like,
it makes me so annoyed.
That's who it's affecting, right? Yeah. It's like these children.
Yes. He's still a kid. As Lo has mentioned, he's still a goddamn kid.
Mm-hmm.
But they bring up, like, Maximoff brings up the fact that he has dark hair, which is Jonathan's hair color and Reich's hair color. Maximoff doesn't necessarily look like Lo. And it's just, Maximoff is so emotional over this. You have your grandfather's dark hair, so what? It's Reich's hair color, so what, Mafi? You're still mine. You're my son. I love you. And Mafi gets really upset. He's like continuing to cry over this. And Lo understands where he's coming from, that people are doubting the truth. Like, and how do you contend with that? That they're like, you know what the right answer is, but there are so many people out there that are insisting you're wrong and you know you're not. It's hard. And Lo had to deal with this at like, oh God, he refers to the rumor about Jonathan molesting him, but Lo was in his 20s at this point. This is a 12-year-old that's trying to come to terms with this awful reality. And this is where Lo thinks like maybe we should have been discussing this with the kids earlier. This whole discussion that they had at the beginning of the book, should they have been more open with the kids? We had seen like when Maximoff had that rash that he was afraid of, like that he hadn't told Lily and Lo about. They had like at that point questioned, should we be more open with them? Why was he keeping this secret from us? Like tiny little moments, but they felt like, okay, but he still trusts us. He was going to tell us about that, so it's okay, but maybe we should have had this talk earlier. But at the same time, Lo was also like, I really didn't, like, I kind of came to terms with the fact that he would face these rumors at some point, but I wanted him to be so much older, at least 16 or 17, before he had to face shit like this. And he's not.
Yeah. And they also, like, so when they figure out, like, because he asked where he's heard the rumors, he said it was a Tumblr site where they're comparing Mafi with Reich and Lo. And, like, Lo is thinking about how they try to, you know, block them from those sites. They're not seeing Tumblr and, like, celebrity gossip sites. But there's only so much they can do, right? Because they have, like, even though he's older, so he can access a little more things on, like, the internet than some of, like, the really younger kids, they still, like, Tumblr's one of the things that's blocked for all the kids. But they can't control what other kids show them. And that's how he saw it. Like, a guy at school showed him. And I think that's, they have to, like, the parents, that's been a part of the discussion between them now is, like, at what point do they talk to them, as they've been thinking. Like you said, Lo, like, they are hoping they could wait until they're, like, older, you know, 16, 17, sometime older. So they're like, okay, you know, we're blocking these sites so they won't find it themselves. Like, what can we do? But they're in school, and kids are kids, and, like, they can't control. They can only control their kids, and they can't control what other kids are seeing and showing them.
It also hurts too, because then Maximoff, he's like, a friend showed this to me, and he's like, well, I thought he was a friend, but he's just like the rest of them, which tells me that, like, the rest of them are just as bad, and I hate that for him.
Yeah, even one person he thought was okay, he thought was a friend, then he's like, not anymore. Guess he's not untrustworthy, or he is untrustworthy.
Yeah.
It just shows that it really is
I hate it because
hard for them.
You like felt so bad for Luna in our last episode, the fact that she's been bullied, and I don't like the like implication behind it that she's weird, but like I think it's a little easier for us to understand that like she's being targeted because she is so different from the rest of the kids. But Maximoff, like, he's getting picked on too by these shithead cruel kids. It's not just Luna. I hate it. I feel so bad for these guys. But anyway, so Maximoff is like continuing to think, my favorite overthinker. He's looking at like, he's studying Lo in comparison to him, and he's like, how could you let me dress like him? You let me emulate Reich so much and lean in. I unknowingly was leaning into these rumors that I was Reich's over yours. Why would you let me do this? And he like feels guilty about it too. Like, I'm hurting you. I'm adding more fuel to the fire that I am Reich's and I'm not yours, and you know that I'm doing this. Why?
That this part just like gets my heart, and it does Reich's, or it does Lowe's too, because he's like, he tries to explain to him like, no, he loves, it's his brother, which I think, I'm trying to remember, because I remember talking about this like, I think it was sometime in the beginning, it was like episodes ago, but I think it was when Mafi just like came out in an outfit that looked like Reich's.
Yeah.
And he was saying like he's glad that
has his uncle's has that relationship with Reich.
Yeah. And he didn't want like the media stuff to ever affect that, because he loves his brother so much, and he wants Mafi to have that. And that was like, I think Mafi was like 4 or 5 at that point.
They were really little.
It's just crazy because it's coming back now, but that was why Lo let him, right? Like we saw that, because now Mafi being like, why would you let me do that? I did that to you. Like, I was dressing like Reich in front of the media, and like he thinks he's like perpetuating these rumors and hurting his dad. And we had Lo's thoughts about it back then of like, he loves his brother. He wants Mafi to have him. Which he tells him here, like, no, you didn't hurt me. I love my brother. I love that you admire him. I admire him. He's a superhero. Like, and then Mafi, like, no, you're a goddamn superhero. Like, but
it's like, we've talked about how, like, Lo will raise his kids differently than Reich, just because of the nature of their levels of fame. But there is some part of Lo that like he didn't have the best father figure growing up, and who is he going to try, and like who is that better figure for him? It's his older brother. Like, there are going to be instances where he will try and push Mafi towards acting like Reich because that's who he sees as a good person. That's like his model of what a good man should be, and he's going to teach Maximoff to be the same way, and it's okay. But it's so hard for Maximoff to understand this.
Yeah. And also because like he doesn't get, like, Lo is not, he doesn't see this stuff in the media and get like I think the only reason he's hurt by that is because he doesn't want to hurt Mafi, right? Like, he's not like, oh, they're comparing him to Reich, like people are gonna think, like, he's not upset about it in the fact that he's like, oh, like they think Mafi's not like me, they think he's like Reich, because he's like, yeah, let him be like Reich. That's amazing. He's an amazing person, like, right? The only reason he's like would be hurt about it is because he's like, I don't want Mafi to have to deal with that, and him to like deal with the repercussions of it or be hurt by it and everything. So Mafi's over here being like, oh my gosh, like this is like, I'm hurting my dad by doing this, and Lo is like, no. Like, he's then has to swing him like, no, that is like, I want that for you.
Yeah. So they have this discussion that like, my brother saved my life. I wouldn't be sober if it weren't for him. I might not be here. Your mom might not be here. We wouldn't have had you. He helped me become a better person. You know what? I might be a superhero, but there is no question Reich Meadows is one too, and he's standing right by my side, heaven and hell. I love this brother relationship so much.
Yes.
And so then, like, Mafi is slowly coming to terms with this new reality he's facing, but he has another question. And Lo can kind of tell where he's going with this. And he's like, you want to know if your mom is a sex addict too? And he does say, like, you know that I am addicted to alcohol. Well, your mom is addicted to sex. And he can see the way he can see that Mafi is processing this news, and he's like, my heart is breaking. Like, he's kind of able to come to terms with the fact that I'm addicted to alcohol, but I cannot his perception of Lily to change and like be diminished in any way. My heart is breaking for Lily at this point. I'm so sad for her, and he needs Maximoff to understand, like, she's still your mom. She loves you like you're a part of her goddamn soul. Nothing has changed. It's just something she deals with like I deal with alcohol. And he says, I'm your dad. Your mom and I have a monogamous relationship. That means she's not with anyone else but me. She doesn't have sex with anyone else. And like Lo explains a little bit that, like, because Maximoff's confused, like, isn't sex supposed to feel good? Like, what is bad about this? And he says, why haven't either of you told me? You both usually tell me everything. Maybe we should have, but we didn't want you thinking about sex in that context, Mafi. It's complicated. You love your mom. It's why this is so hard, you know? I don't like thinking that she's struggling with something like this. Maximoff, my empathetic. So we see here, he's like so upset. He's so upset over this because he doesn't want Lily to be hurt. He's so upset that he was dressing like Reich because he didn't want Lo to be hurt. Like, that's why this is affecting him so hard. He feels so deeply. He's so empathetic over all of this. He gets this from Lily. Lily is our empathetic queen, and she has taught her son to be this way. I love it. It hurts my heart, but I love it.
I know. And like the whole time Lo is like worried. He's like, oh my gosh, like this is gonna break Lily's heart if like this changes the way he sees her. Like, this is gonna be like, he was, you know, just so worried about it, and that wasn't what was going on.
Not at all.
He was just upset that he didn't know sooner because he didn't like knowing that she was struggling and he didn't know about it.
Yeah. Like, and we've seen this so much. He's always been that kid that's like, do you want to give, like, you have so many toys. Don't you want to see other kids have toys? Yes, of course I do. Mommy's bleeding from her butt, and this is going to be something that Luna, Jane, and Sully might have to go through in the future, but I don't want them to go through that. So it continues on. It's who he will be forever and ever. So Lo promises that, like, Maximoff, you can come to us with any questions. Like, we will be open with you about this. You can ask me anything. I want to maintain that level of trust with you. And so we end the chapter on like a better place between Maximoff and Lo, but Lo does acknowledge that they are probably going to have to, with this promise, they're probably going to have to start telling him a lot more truths very soon. So the next chapter is Daisy's point of view. It is the following day. She, like I said, has been the parent in charge of the little girls. So Kinney, Audrey, and Winona. And she is not feeling well. Her stomach feels like garbage, and it sucks because all the little girls want to do is ride on the teacups, which could not be a worse ride to pick if you want to hurl.
As Winona said, they want to spin until they puke.
Well, she's gonna get
Daisy already watched it.
Yes. And we've already seen a little bit of Winona's personality, but again, we're seeing more of the kids' personalities here with Audrey and Kinney now that they are speaking. Daisy's trying to like have them pick a different activity. Let's go get ice cream. Let's skip the teacups. We've done that already. Let's go do that instead. Kinney, ice cream isn't teacups, Kinney Hale says, like it's just known. She's like I think she's about 2 years old at this point. Deadpan. I love her.
I also love like how each of them are dressed, like Winona in a tiger onesie.
Yes.
Audrey in a princess gown, and Kinney as a Jedi Knight. Like, very we can see it there. Like, yeah.
And then Rose winds up calling Daisy to like check up on them. She wants to know how Audrey's doing. Daisy like flips the phone to show Rose Audrey, and she like waves to her mom like she's sprinkling the air. Yes, that is Audrey. And she catches Rose like smiling, like trying to hide a smile, and then Rose notices that Connor sees her smiling. She's like, "You're infuriating." Because Connor thinks the interaction between his two girls is adorable. And then like Rose and Connor have been with the middle kids, so then we see Elliot and Tom try and scare her. They like jump out at her and grab her, and Daisy's like, Rose is completely unfazed. She 100% knew this is what the hell they were doing. Not scared at all. They tried to scare her and she was not scared. But while Rose is still holding the phone and Daisy is watching, as like has the phone pointed at the sidewalk, and she's getting even more nauseous over this. She hangs up that phone call and she decides, you know what? I feel horrible. And she says, I can't do this alone, and I don't want to try and push through this awful feeling. She doesn't need to put on a facade. She doesn't need to like pretend to be happy. That's not who she is anymore. So you know what? She's gonna call Reich and she's gonna tell him that she feels like crud. And all she has to say is his name, and he's like, what's wrong? Sorry, what's fucking wrong?
Yeah, I love that she said before too, I don't feel well. I used to be great at this and I don't know how. I can't remember the last time I painted on happiness when I felt sick. And it's like, yeah, that it's been so long since she's just kind of like faked the happiness or being okay or emotions, and that's something that she used to do so often. But it's like she said, like, I don't even know how I used to do that, because that's so far from like what she does, what she's so far removed from that point of her life, which is like, yes,
we love that.
You should be.
Growth. Yes. So she tells Reich that she feels sick, and he says that like she I think there's also something to it that she knew that Reich wanted to be with Lo and Maximoff after, like, he wanted to be with that group after the talk that Lo had with Maximoff the day before. And she, like, wanted to respect that. But at the same time, like, she knows she needs Reich, and she's gonna call him, and she's not gonna feel guilty over interrupting that moment either. And of course he doesn't mind. He's like, I'm coming to you. I will leave the group. I will come find you. Do not worry. And they determine that Daisy has food poisoning. Rose, they don't call it this, but this is what my mom always used. She was like, Rose urged Daisy to try something new. My mom always called it the taste bud challenge. Rose had her compete in a taste bud challenge. She had some like shrimp on an omelet, and she has food poisoning. And he arrives just in time for her to puke in some bushes. And poor Winona is at first like, Mommy, and then Mommy.
She's so concerned.
She is. And I love that like Reich is so ready to take care of Daisy, and she's like, no, go take care of Winona. I'm fine. Deal with that one. And he's like, okay, fine. I will take care of Winona. And so, you know what? Daisy's going to go back to the hotel and stay in bed. It's time to relax for a little bit for Daisy. So the next chapter is Reich's point of view. The families are back at their hotel, and they are chilling by the pool. They get like the smaller resort pool to themselves so that they can, you know, just relax with some modicum of privacy. So that's what they're doing. He and Lo are sitting on some loungers together. He's checking in with Daisy really fast, like making sure that she's okay. She's up in the hotel room with Winona. Winona wanted to be with her, which is so cute. And Reich is gonna be down at the pool watching Sully, and he's like, I promise I'll take plenty of pictures of the mermaid swimming and diving and all of it. Don't you worry, Daisy, you're not gonna miss anything. So while Reich and Lo are sitting on the pool loungers, they overhear a conversation between our favorite troublemakers, Tom and Elliot.
Yes.
Elliot is concocting this plan for Tom to pretend drown in the pool and have the lifeguard rescue him and perform CPR, and Tom will be able to go in for the kiss, and he is essentially ripping off that scene from The Sandlot. And
Rick and Lo are just over here like,
do they not know we're here? Do they think we're just sleeping or something?
they're like, their whispering is not very stealth. Like, we can hear this. They think we're just like sleeping or something. We can hear them. This is not happening. Yes. What are they doing? What are they talking about?
Tom mulls this over, eyeing the lifeguard, and then he whispers, okay, I'm in. Fucking A. I immediately start standing to physically keep them from pretending to drown. My brother is faster with his words. You two, sit down. And Elliot's over here like, we were just about to swim. We're so innocent. We're not doing anything.
It's in his eyes, the twinkle of deception.
Of course.
Yes, it is, Ellie.
He always has that twinkle. And so they are essentially stopped. They complain, Uncle Reich, and Lo's like, excuse me, you should be afraid of me. And Elliot and Tom laugh like they're afraid of nothing. Second of all, you're not fake drowning to get the attention of someone. And Tom's like, but what if he's really cute? And this is where we learn that Tom is gay. And this is not some like new revelation for the families. They are very aware of this. And Reich talks about how Rose and Connor have cultivated this environment for their kids, that they feel very comfortable with this, that this wasn't some big revelation for them. Tom just felt comfortable enough to like come home from school a couple of times talking about crushes on like all of these crushes he had on guys. And it's just known that that's who he is. But he is the first kid out of the second generation that we know of, like, that is gay, but he will not be the last. And then Lo's like, thirdly, he's too fucking old for you. He has this whole list of things, and Elliot and Tom are like, could be like Uncle Reich and Aunt Daisy have this age gap romance, and you could be preventing like this epic love affair. And Reich's over here like, okay, what? I think Lo's the one that's like, all right, well, Reich and Daisy didn't get together when they were like 11 years old or however, no, like 9 years old. He didn't, Stefan, sorry. He didn't start crushing on Daisy when he was 7. And then he goes, fourthly, if I see you at the deep end and you're under the water for longer than 10 seconds, Uncle Reich is going to jump in and save you. But Reich also talks about like with this age gap romance that, like, listen, you two don't even understand that Lo gave me such shit. Like, you don't know how much it took for Lo to finally reach this point where he is so accepting of my relationship with Daisy. You can't come in here with this age gap shit.
No. He's like, I know, like, he's great with it now, but we went through so much to get him to be at that point.
We really had to get Lo on board, and we're going to have to get him on board with a couple other age gap romances. So Reich and Lo manage to wrangle Elliot and Tom, and Sully comes over because she wants Reich to time this race between her and Maximoff. And Reich's like, hey, Sully, what do you think of that lifeguard over there? And she's like, I mean, he seems pretty competent, but like, don't worry, if any of the kids drown, like, I can be there to save them. And Reich's over here like, yes, she is just a little kid. She is not looking at this guy with any other intention other than his job as lifeguard. And he recognizes that at this moment, Sully's true love is swimming.
You know, he was so relieved by her answer there. He was like,
yes.
Okay.
Thank you. So the next chapter, Connor's point of view. It is the core 6. They are on Connor and Rose's patio in their hotel room, watching the sun set over the park. It is the end of their week-long vacation, and they're just sort of reflecting for a minute. Daisy is now feeling better from her food poisoning. She had gotten up to get some churros for Lily and Lo and has since delivered them to Lily and Lo. I love that she knows that these two are like the snack people, and she's like, I got you this snack. I found this snack. It made me think of you. Here it is. And Connor talks about how like Reich and Daisy are, of course, they're sitting on the railing of the balcony while Lily and Lo, like Lily is sitting on Lo's lap, and then Connor and Rose are sitting just side by side with their glass of wine. It is the picture that he has set is very much the core six to their core.
Yes.
They are
Very them.
in their element. So they're having this discussion that like Mafi, Jane, and Charlie are going to be in middle school soon, as evidenced by the conversation that Lo had with Maximoff during this vacation. They are starting to uncover things, and they need to cultivate this level of trust between the kids. It's really hard for the group because it's like, they're still kids. I want these kids to remain kids and maintain their innocence for as long as possible. But Rose and Connor point out that there are a couple of them that the more you keep secrets from them, the more they will feel like some level of, I don't want to say distrust, I don't know what the right word is, but they're going to feel like there is going to be this sense of, well, my parents don't trust me, and I'm going to be, what's the word I'm looking for? Some of them will feel like we didn't share with them, so they won't feel as forthcoming to share with us. Like, there needs to be this level of reciprocity between them. And it's not all of the kids, but there are some that they recognize will feel that way. And it's going to be Maximoff and Charlie. And if they tell Maximoff, then they have to tell Jane, because they know that Maximoff is just going to go straight to Jane. He cannot keep any secrets from her.
Yeah.
I love these two besties. So they talk about how like this has been one of these things that they've been at a standstill for a really long time. Even though they had really hoped they could wait till at least high school, it's just they're learning too many things at this point. Like, their peers are not being respectful of the timeline that the core six really have in their head, and they're discovering things. So they decide that Mafi, Charlie, and Jane are going to learn more about the core six's history. So they call in those three to tell them this decision, and they explain things to them.
I love that he says, Charlie, he says, my oldest son looks more interested in this event than every activity from the past few days. More than everything in Disneyland.
He does. He needs like this different level of stimulation. He was bored at the lake house. He's bored at Disneyland.
It's like, oh, what do you have to tell us? This is interesting. What's going on here? I'm intrigued. Want to talk to me, Mafi, and Jane? What's going on? I'll pay attention.
Yes, I won't run away from this.
He says he shifts his full attention to us. To acquire Charlie's attention to this degree might be even harder than acquiring mine.
Connor also notes that Jane might appear more disinterested than Mafi and Charlie, but she's not. Her mind is all over the place. She asks Connor and Rose for a sip of their wine, and they say no. She goes, that's indisputably fair, but just to prepare you, I may ask once more. I love it.
I love her.
She's my queen. So they explain, we want to show you guys we are Calloway, and we want to explain our history with you three. Arlie's like, even me, and yes, even you, my gremlin. He believes he can wander as far as he wants to wander, but it's an illusion. He's restrained by society. He's restrained by his own self-beliefs. Don't upset my mother. Don't upset my brothers, or don't hurt my brothers and sisters. Don't disappoint my father. He does care. Lo needed to give him that reminder, but he does care. I love that we grounded him, and his punishment was a 2,000-word letter on the consequences of his actions before the morning. 3/4 of it was satirical. He did state one sincere truth in the end. When and where I go disturbs the ground beneath certain feet, ones that are not my own, people I know and people I love. It was not my intention, and now I see. Signed, your wisest son. He knows.
So I love that 3/4 was satirical, but he did put the sincere truth close to apology in the end.
Yes. So they assert, yes, we trust Charlie, and Maximoff is over here like, how much are you going to tell us? I want to know everything. How much more is there? They're like, there's lifetimes of history that we have to share with these guys. Our histories may contain darkness, but there is great light. I found love in that time. Love that extends to these 5 people. You'll see, Lo tells his son, and Mafi takes a breath, ready for it all. Fireworks explode, bright, glittering, and sparkling above the castle we all watch. Innocence, purity. Vibrant colors flash across our faces, and my gaze drifts to Rose. She turns to me, a very sentimental smile at her lips. I take it all in. Connor, being so sentimental. Okay, so the last Disneyland chapter is Rose's point of view, and they are packing up to go home, and she's trying to help Audrey pack, and Audrey's over here like, please let me. She hikes onto her strawberry pink suitcase and she attempts to shut the luggage closed. She's horrible at this. And Rose is like, all right, if you have to, if I must, okay. She talks about how she walks away from Audrey's room and she notices Connor in the next room folding her clothes, her delicates, and she's like, his wavy brown hair looks better today, and most days it looks too good. Disneyland is making me compliment Connor. He's shirtless right now. He's folding my clothes. I am so attracted to this man right now. What is going on? And she's over here like, just don't pay attention. Like, yes, I'm oogling you right now. Keep folding. Don't worry about this. And he's like, it's amusing that you think you can order me around. And so he brings up this. He's like, years ago, you asked me a question and I realized I never answered it for you. And I love that, like, she immediately knows what it is. And he's saying this because, like, it was the question that was asked at the tea party in, like, 2018. I think that was the episode that we had talked about this, the very first one. But I love that she knows, like, Connor, like, does that mean that every question that she has ever answered, Connor has provided, or, like, every question that she has asked, Connor has provided an answer, and this is the one single one where he has never provided an answer, ever?
So, I'm like, I mean, also, I feel like my memory is just actually bad.
I remember.
There's no way I'd remember. I don't even know if from me reading it at the beginning of the book to then I remember exactly what the question is. Like, there was a question. What was it again? Like, my memory is so bad. So, like, in the day it takes me to get from, read these throughout, but, like, in the however much time, day or two, to get from here to here, I don't remember what the question is. I don't know if, like, there's 0% chance I would remember a question. I don't know. I guess maybe when it's a question you ask someone if you really want to know, maybe. But I still don't think I would. I still don't. I think there's no way. Maybe if it's like for a little while, I'd be like, wow, I really, that time. No. There's no way.
Nope.
There's no way I'd remember if I was Rose or if I was Connor. But
they both.
they both remember it. I don't know.
But yeah, so this is the question that Rose asked at the tea party, because Jane had been reminiscing about her tea party, so this is why Connor remembers. But Rose had asked Connor if he had ever fantasized about her when he was younger. And she's over here like, it took you 9 years to come up with an answer. And he was like, no, I've always had the answer. And she's like, well, you're neglectful. And he goes, no, I'm patient. I love the way they're able to, like, twist it and change the perception of the situation.
Yeah.
With their words. So good. So he says, I don't live in fantasy, Rose. I live in vivid reality. And in my reality as a teenager, I thought most often and most fondly and most passionately about you. And she goes, I need more specifically, I need more details over this. More specifically, I would masturbate to these realities. And she's like, they're not fantasies. And he goes, all of my fantasies became realities. Of course they did. Connor, he knows what he wants and he fucking goes for it.
So it's just such a Connor answer. Like, well, I don't live in fantasy. So it was the reality.
Yep. Yes. So she's like, yeah, that was the answer I wanted. But, like, get it together, Rose. Continue folding my underwear, okay? I'm going to go check on the rest of our children. So she notes that, like, there's a loud bang, a sound, and she checks in on the boys' room and notes that a lamp has been knocked over. Charlie and Beckett have already finished packing up, so they're not in the room. So it's the younger 3 boys that are still in here. So it's not a surprise that the lamp has been knocked over if Elliot and Tom are in here. But they are just being, the menaces that they are. Elliot's bouncing on the bed. Tom is following suit. Ben falls to his ass, but his brothers keep jumping. Their clothes are wrinkled everywhere, most thrown haphazardly into the suitcases. Did I not teach you how to fold? I most certainly remember that lesson because Tom face planted on the clean clothes by the end of it.
Tom face planting again.
Of course. So Ben's over here like, Mommy, I need help. And Tom and Elliot chime in and she's like, I know your game. You want me to do this right now and you won't have to take care of it, but you have to finish it. I will demonstrate, but you're going to have to finish packing your suitcase. And they're like, well, what if Elliot says, but what if I opt to forego the folding? And she's like, well, when you're 20 and you're in college and I'm not here, you're going to wish that you had learned this lesson from me. And he goes, I can call you when I'm 20 and in college, can't I? You'll still be around to teach me how to fold. She goes, tears brim, and I nearly shed an actual tear. And she's like, I can't smudge the mascara. No, having kids makes me cry. Like I'm watching the Titanic over and over again. I do not like this. But she says, whenever you need me, I'll always be here. I love her.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know she is for her sisters, for her kids, for everyone.
Absolutely. Yes. Oh, the final chapter of 2027. It is December. And we are in Daisy's point of view. She is in the woods behind the Meadows cottage. And she is chopping wood with Reich. And it has snowed, so they're getting wood for a fire, and they're just enjoying this peaceful moment in their woods together, being flirty, racy. They do wind up having sex. Of course they do. It's the outdoors. This is very much them. But at the end of it, they hear their names being called, and it's Connor calling for them. So they are rushing to get back. Like, what the hell is going on? Why is Connor at our house calling for us? Daisy doesn't even have, like, she doesn't even put on her shoes. Reich has to, like, carry her back to the house, and Connor tells them that the school, Dalton, had been trying to contact them because they needed to go pick up Sully, and that, like, immediately puts them on alert. What the hell is wrong with Sully? And Connor does assure them that, like, Lo was their emergency contact, and he's gone to the school to pick her up, and he's bringing her home. So she's like, she's fine. She's coming home for the day, and Lo will explain everything. And Connor does assure, like, it's not serious. Fuck off, Cobalt. Not today. And really, we must stop meeting like this. Fuck you in time. But Reich and Daisy are like, what the hell happened? So it cuts to Sully is now home. She is completely zonked out. It's the fact, like, we've talked about this. She mimics Reich and Daisy's sleep schedule. They've not dubbed it yet, but she has FOMF, fear of missing every fucking thing. And she wants to stay awake, and she forces herself to stay awake. And so she has a really bad sleep schedule, and that means that she falls asleep in school. And so she had fallen asleep in social studies on this day, and the teacher asked to send her home. And they explained to Lo, who has now explained it to Reich and Daisy, that they need to really put her on a better sleep schedule or she will fail social studies, and they don't want this for her. And Reich is struggling so hard. This is the man that can't say no to any girl. He struggles so hard, and Daisy has to come, like, she's like, imagine that she's gonna have nightmares like me. She's gonna sleepwalk. Like, do whatever you need to. Think all of the fucking horrible things if that will help you. Say no to her when she begs to stay awake. You need to do this for her health, Reich.
Really? Like, he's struggling so hard. 'Cause he's like, I don't want to have to, like, not punish her, but they're kind of like, Dave's like, we need to be more strict. So, like, if she hasn't gotten a full, I think she said 7 hours of sleep. Yeah. If she doesn't get at least 7 hours of sleep, she can't get up to run with you in the morning, or you can't, like, make the pancakes for her for breakfast when she has her, like, we need to actually set these, like, strict rules so she's clocking in the full 7 hours. And he's like, but it feels so harsh. I don't want to have to say no. And, like, That just feels so harsh. And then
mean.
he's like, just the punishment just pains him.
Yep.
But Daisy's like, no, she's gonna fail social studies, and like we have to also, yeah, if she goes down that path, like she can't keep neglecting sleep, and it could be unhealthy, and it could end up with me. Reich's like, okay, no, probably not, because like
PTSD is kind of
that's Daisy's issues, like, or her like a lot of the problems with her sleep came from PTSD, so Sully doesn't have that. But Daisy's like, think that though. That doesn't matter. Think that she could end up like me, and she could have the nightmares and everything, because if that's what you need, that's what you need to be okay saying no to her. Think that she's gonna have
I'm just thinking
issues down the line with sleep.
That one scene where Sully cursed when they had he had taken Sully to the gym when Lo had called for him, and Lo had been like, Law, lay it down. Right? You need to learn how to lay down the law. Come on. You can do this. But then Daisy ends it with, hey, one day she'll be 10, and then the next blink of an eye, she'll be 12. Before you know it, she's 16, driving that Jeep outside, and we're waving her off to go to college. I planned for that to be a funny speech, but now she's really teary-eyed. Reich says, today she's 9. Live in the fucking moment with me. Just take it. Live in the moment with Reich Meadows every single day. All right, so we are going to do one final chapter, because we're going to save the emotional ones for the next episode. But we are going to do the first chapter of 2028 and the We Are Calloway quote. Him so much. There's a reason I have his handwriting permanently inked on my skin. I just love him. I just want everyone to be okay. Maximoff Hale. Okay, so it is January 2028. It is Reich's point of view in the Upper East Side penthouse in New York City. They are celebrating New Year's. They had like a New Year's Eve party, so it is January 1st of 2028. They rented this expensive New York penthouse for this party with just the family. It's like no strangers or anything. And a lot of the kids are like zonked out. The girls are cleaning up the confetti, and all of the dads are taking care of the 4 littlest girls. This is Lo, Connor, Reich, and Garrison. Audrey drools on Connor's shoulder, and he only grins by the fucking fact. Winona is dead asleep in my arms. Veda stirs in Garrison's, but he rubs her back and she easily relaxes. And Kinney, she's the only one who really opens her eyes. She looks up at Lo, and he kisses each of her chubby cheeks. I've never seen my brother love anything more than he loves his children and his wife. And then Kenny rests her head on his chest, hugging him like a fucking stuffed animal. So they put the little girls to sleep, and Reich comes back out to help clean up, and he notices that Maximoff is still awake, and he's by himself reading on a chair. And he thinks back on how Lo has explained, like he wound up explaining what the entire conversation that he had with Maximoff in Disneyland. Reich is now aware of that, and it's really hard for him because like he knows that Maximoff feels like some level of resent and guilt. I feel more guilt probably that like he did wind up dressing like Reich, that he has contemplated dyeing his hair and using stronger SPF so he's less tan like Reich, and just trying to find all of these ways to stop looking like Reich. And it's so hard for him because he loves Maximoff so much. Like, he's the firstborn. He is his first nephew. He was the one that he like babysat the most. He knows, like, I don't want to compare them, but like he's known Maximoff longer than he's known his own children. Like, he has a very strong bond with him, and it's so hard for Reich to have this distance with his nephew. I hate it. I don't like the disintegration of this relationship. Was so Lo loved the fact that Maximoff loved Reich so much.
And because there's so much that, like, there's a lot that there's a lot that Mafi like likes to, I don't know how to say this, but basically like there's a lot that he has in common with, or like likes,
Yeah.
that, right, like he like, I don't remember if he said it somewhere, either I don't remember if it's here. Yeah, he doesn't ask to run in the morning with him like he used to. Like he likes to go running with Reich. Like Reich takes Mafi and Sully to swim practice. Like there's a lot, he likes doing a lot of the outdoorsy stuff with Reich, and like the camping, and he runs with him all the time, and he has a lot of that kind of stuff in common with him.
Yeah, Maximoff has this connection with the Meadows family that we'll see more, but like there are certain things that he skews a little more towards the Meadows than the Hales with their couch potato attitudes.
Yeah.
That's not necessarily Maximoff, so it's like been one of the ways that he's been able to bond with Reich a lot. And the fact that he doesn't ask to go running with him, I hate it. I don't like this disintegration of this relationship. But and poor Reich's over here like, I'm not fucking good with words. I don't know how to talk with him about this. And Lo does urge him in this moment, like, go talk to him, you know, like he might surprise you. So Reich goes over to talk with Maximoff as he's reading his book. And Reich's like, do you want to fucking talk? He goes, about what? And that's when Reich notices what book Maximoff is reading. Knowing that Maximoff does like to read, he gifted him Atlas Shrugged by Ayn Rand for Christmas. Because he had read that book around his age, and I thought he might enjoy it. I never saw him open the fucking present. I just thought he trashed it. No, he really enjoys the book, and he's reading it right now. And Maximoff's like, I know I've been distant, and my dad said I can love you and him at the same time, and I just want you to know that I do. And thanks for taking care of my dad. And Reich, he says, I believed he'd do everything to erase me from his life. Lo is his father in every fucking way. I could never take his spot. I'd never try to. I'd never want to. Stop! You're ruining the moment. This is emotional. Ugh. I'll go back. I'm gonna reread it. Phoebe, come here. Thank you. I believed he'd do everything to erase me from his life. Lo is his father in every fucking way. I could never take his spot. I'd never try to. I'd never want to. I'm just the uncle, and Mafi could have easily cut me out if he fucking wanted to. Okay, I just like to insert in here, parents, adults, stop underestimating Maximoff Hale, please. Because Lo's over here like, oh my god, Maximoff has discovered that Lily has a sex addiction, and he's gonna hate Lily now. And like, no, he's really upset that Lily could be hurting. And Reich's over here like, oh my god, Maximoff knows that there's this rumor, and he's gonna hate me now and not want me to be in his life. No, stop underestimating him. Come on. But I just love this moment that it sucks, and unfortunately, like, this is going to be an arc that will not go away. I keep staring at my Damaged Like Us and knowing what's to come in those books with this topic. But I do love that they leave this on a much more hopeful note between him and Reich, that like not all is damaged and lost between these two. That like Maximoff does, he is intelligent enough to understand that like Lo has really pushed him to be more like Reich, and he is very like, he is a good man. Reich is a good man, and Maximoff recognizes that that's all Lo has been trying to do, is raise Maximoff to also be a good man, and that's who his role model is. That's who Lo's role model for a good man is. Also, I feel like I remember my friend reading Atlas Shrugged, and that is not a short book. I could have sworn that was like a very long audiobook that she had talked about. And the fact that this 12-year-old is reading it, he's also very intelligent. He's a very smart kid.
He is, yes.
And then he quotes this line to Reich, if you don't know, the thing to do is not to get scared, but to learn. Yeah. I like that fucking one too. I love this book. I love these characters, but we are going to end the episode here. Bring your tissues for the next one because we are going into the final 6 chapters. And I think we are going to be doing the bonus scenes in the next episode. So we are saving ourselves one more recording. Until then, continue to stay addicted to Krista and Becca's writing like us.